Go ahead and push on that guy there too. And one small bump up.
So our first view of animal life on the seafloor at
Yeah.
Tamana Seamount. 2 sponges, or actually more than 2. But
Roger, thank you, Rennie.
Good capture.
All right, full wide there, please. Yeah, that is a very strange.
So it looks like, let's see, our heading is, Hercules' heading is towards the north, and we're seeing current passing over from our left to our right. So
Interesting.
a bit of a westward direction from west-east, which is a little bit different than we've seen on some previous dives.
So, Rennie, how you doing there? Do you mind if I
Yeah,
start?
we can start to head upslope, which should be to your
To your left.
yeah, to your port, and we'll get Argus starting to move if that's okay with science, right?
I think so, yeah.
Let's
We'll
we'll
see
go
what we
upslope around 245.
245, Rog.
Yeah.
Get a sense of what these rocks look like before deciding where we might want to sample.
Bridge nav. Let's step 100 meters, bearing 245, speed 0.2 knots. Thank you.
So for our audience at home, if you're unfamiliar with these dives, we have a 3-vehicle operation essentially. So the ship up at the sea surface is our first point of movement, and that brings Argus along underneath the ship. Argus carries a lot of the heave motion that the ship feels, and Hercules is a little bit more free of the heave. So we set up a ship's move. Argus slowly begins to move underneath the ship, and Hercules is driven to keep up with Argus. And we call those in. You just heard Rennie call in a move of about a football field in length. And then we'll go relatively slow, usually about 0.2 knots. We'll slowly creep this slope.
Some significant current here. Yeah.
Yes, a very, very soupy current. This is maybe the most turbid water we've seen. We'll make imaging a little bit more difficult as we're doing our
Yeah, come up there,
flybys.
take a bit.
We're definitely seeing several sponges. Maybe some of these bottle brush corals on this boulder right in front of us. So now Hercules has a heading of about a southwestern heading. You can see that that current is coming right at us, or at least that's how it looks like as we're moving. A bamboo coral off to the right. What looks like maybe an anemone.
The fish in the front.
Oh yeah, a little fish.
Big Synaphobranchid eel, cutthroat eel.
What was that, Steve?
It's a big cutthroat eel. Very wide body for cutthroat eel.
Oh, Russia.
Requests are coming in for what they'd like to see. There's a request for a giant sea spider, and I'm going to veto that one.
Aw.
Another vote for Victor Gorgia. Lots.
There's another fish. Hopefully it doesn't come too close to the vehicle.
Are mostly what we're seeing, Steve, on the fish is like they're ophidiids or eel-like fish, not necessarily true eels.
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
To turn you up here.
Sorry. The fish, mostly what we've been seeing are kind of ophidiid or eel-like species.
So the ophidiids are the cusk eels. So far, I haven't seen any of those. I think what we're seeing now are the synaphobranchid eels. It's a family of eels known as the cutthroat eels. I'll try and point out the ophidiids when I see them. The ophidiids typically have barbels or like small appendages coming out of the lower
Jess, can we pan
part
to
of their
look at
head.
that sponge off to the left there?
Yeah, sure thing.
But yes, both of those are what you would typically find in this area. As we move shallower, we'll start to see different kinds of fishes. But we're still kind of in the mid-bathyal realm where we see a lot of these cusk eel forms and.
Okay, sure thing. Did you say mid-bathyal?
Yeah.
Go ahead there, Jeff.
Yeah, bathyal
Raj.
is a range of depths in the water column and on the
Looks fuzzy.
and on the seafloor. Typically,
Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, sure thing.
Hey,
Oh, right
Jeff.
there, Jeff.
the range of the bathyal depth zone is between 200 and 3,000 meters or so. So below that we have abyssal, and below that even it's hadal. So those are just like lumpy groups we can call different range of depths we might visit.
We can see some really nice steep topography in the Argus view, channel 2, coming up ahead of us.
And
How would you characterize this rock that we're looking at here, Beth?
Hard.
not the right one.
Yeah, these big blocks of basalt. They definitely look extrusive to me. Some, yeah, definitely some pillows in here. I haven't seen any columnar basalt yet.
That's one of the things I've always wondered is, as we move shallower, how would you know you've transitioned from kind of the volcanic topography
If you want to look up
rock to the carbonate? Is there something apparent that you would look for? Or is it kind of just a guess?
The rocks will definitely look different.
Yeah.
Carbonates will be a lot whiter, different texture than these basalts.
But even the carbonates are pretty crusty, right? At these depths, like if it was.
That's true.
How old they would be.
Yeah, that is true.
Another little fish in front. The view from Argus almost looks like Hercules is rock climbing. That's a good observation. Can we zoom on that little fish?
Where do you see the, oh, there's the fish, yeah. Right there.
Sorry? Oh, sure thing. You want to also do a partial on Argus there. It's pretty cool terrain.
I think this might be a type of rat tail.
Go ahead and
or
push it on the
grenadier.
fish there.
Oh, no. I'm not correct. It's an ophidiid. So you can look under the head. There are these, probably using the wrong term, but similar to barbels.
I think Chris called them ventral spines.
Yeah. This one has a couple of chunks missing out of its
It's dorsal, or it's pectoral fin.
Pectoral fin, yeah. I wonder if those could be predation attempts, or maybe they could be grazing by parasites on
Also,
some of the
you want to
soft
come wide on
tissue.
Argus there too, please? Thanks, Jeff.
Making me do two things at once. Come on.
I know.
Yeah, it's a really spectacularly steep cliff in the Argus view, which matches our predictions from the multi-beam, that there should be some slump and scar features. Jess, there's a little purple thing right there.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. All right, Jeff, you want to push in center screen there on that blob? It's a Holothurian.
It is. It looks like there's also a, if you pan to the right just a little bit.
The anemone there.
Yeah, a little anemone. Okay,
I'm not
thanks.
sure. Yeah,
Sure
the anemone, we're starting to get up into the range where you're going to start to see cup corals too, which are very reminiscent of anemones. If you have to look for the calcium carbonate skeleton underneath the polyps, so that'll be something to look for. For the most part, they're about that size though.
Okay.
So, oh, well,
Oh, can we pan to the left?
very cool.
Yep, sure thing.
This is a
Crinoid.
stalked crinoid.
I think after this, guys, I'm going to boogie out in front of Argus again.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
But we can take a snap zoom here. There, Jeff, go ahead.
That's all that's needed. In fact, I know what this is already.
Yeah, just a nice shot.
Yep, great, good to go.
All right, full wide, please.
This is a stalked crinoid or sea lily
Up.
called Proisocrinus ruberimus, which is indicative of the red color.
Yeah, ruber.
Yeah. They can get quite dense and pretty incredible fields of these at some seamounts.
That's a big guy.
A big crustacean thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Look at those long tentacles.
Also known as a shrimp.
Nice.
Hey, sometimes biologists struggle to find their words too.
Ernie, let me know if you want me to cycle USBL power on the vehicle as well.
Thanks. It's actually a transceiver issue,
Reg.
so the beacons are good.
So no.
Yeah, thank you though.
Thanks for the due diligence there.
It's not resolving anything. It's just frustrating.
Steve, what is the distribution range of that stalked crinoid that we saw? Is that something unique to the Pacific? Is it observed more globally?
It's certainly Pacific. Yeah, so I've seen that species from Hawaii all the way down to the South Pacific. Yeah, it's very widespread in this region and also west. I don't know about any, I haven't seen it in a wider distribution, but I know that it's one of the most common seamount crinoids we see in this central and equatorial Pacific.
There are fish there.
Yeah, there's a fish off to the top left.
Oh, I guess it's one fish with a shadow.
That was me and my shadow up there, yeah. Shadow.
Oh, that's just a rock. There's a nice sea star.
Do you guys want to take a look at the sea star real quick?
We don't need to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just pointing it out for our viewers.
Oh, Raj.
Looks like a slime star.
Yeah, slimy. Yeah,
It's kind of a sad name for an animal.
That's great.
It's yeah, not sure of the genus and species on this one, but it's probably in the Pterasteridae family, which again is this one of those silent P, PT. Yeah.
Full wide, please. It's a nice crevice there.
Biologists throwing silent letters in there just to confuse us.
Yeah. What gives, Steve?
I'll put in a note in the next meeting of biologists.
Yeah.
Stop messing with people.
Okay, sure thing. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah, it's been pretty good already.
What are you guys up to?
If I didn't know any better, these kind of look like massive carbonate blocks.
Oh, you think so?
I mean, it's very reminiscent of when you get up into the very shallow stretches of some of these Pacific islands and seamounts. You get these just big blocky things that just fall off.
Okay.
And these cracks and crevices and very dramatic walls. I mean, I don't know enough about volcanic rock other than pillows and sheet flows and things, but it kind of reminds me of that. But I don't want to go putting ideas.
Could be a mixture. I mean, this definitely looks like a ropey flow to me.
Yeah.
Right here.
Might be some mixture of things here.
Yeah. We definitely know that there's slope failure features in this region based on the multi-beam. So it could be that things have fallen from above and then cemented into place.
Steve, what creates the carbonate cap?
Corals.
Ancient
corals. Yeah. In the progression from seamount to fringing reef to coral atoll, there's a period of time where as the seamount subsides, corals will grow up and kind of keep pace with sea level changes. And over millions of years, corals can produce a pretty sizable carbonate cap on many of these seamounts that eventually turns into what we call guyots as the seamount subsides and erosional forces take shape.
That ship move is complete. Would we want to continue along this track, or you liking any rocks for picking up or what have you?
Yeah, I've been looking to see if there's any good spots to pick up rocks, but I haven't quite seen them yet.
Okay.
So let me think. Let's hold on the ship move for just a second, and Jess, if you could lateral over to the left, the view in Argus seems to indicate that maybe there's some more pick-upable pieces.
Sure thing.
Maybe let's see if what
what
that material looks like.
Might have a little bit of Argus swing, but I think we're okay.
Roger that. Thanks, Renee.
This whole scene kind of shows you, though, how different seamounts are. We were at basically the same depth as we were last night, and we're seeing pretty different communities here in terms of density and even species of corals. Certainly very sparse, but we're seeing a couple of corals like Candidella, still present common at this depth, as well as Umbellula sea pen I saw a while back in a patch of sediment. Occasionally these hemicorallium, but we haven't gotten up to the area where the plexaurids and acanthogorgids and Victorgorgia are yet. Perhaps something about the flow conditions at this particular ridge is not allowing them to live this deep, or there might not be a larval supply that has hit this ridge yet. Or there could be something about the substrate characteristics, instabilities. Corals typically like hard, stable bottom since they're slow growing.
Perhaps once we get over this crest, Beth, there also, it looks like there's some potentially cemented in features here to the left. Maybe on the top of this crest or on the other side.
Let's see what we can get.
Actually, perhaps here.
There's a couple of sponges we've seen so far that are similar to what we've seen at other seamounts, the Poliopogon species.
Do any of these look like good candidates for you there, Beth?
That's not quite what I'm looking for.
Roger that.
Trying to imagine a nice angular piece that's not super altered for getting some dating information.
Roger. Yeah, well, we can go take a look on the right here.
Yep.
Those more crusty flakes. There's that texture. Maybe
Those
nodules.
look more like nodules.
Bowl of nodules.
That was so weird. Those flakes.
Yeah.
Crusty flakes.
Cuss. Nope.
Not our team name.
Not our team name. No, thank you.
But nevertheless part of a complete breakfast.
All right, I'm going to continue on over to the right then, Beth. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yep.
What's that?
Sea star.
Yep. We saw this one a couple of days ago.
Same one.
Same one.
Struggling to remember the name now. But hemicorallium, I can identify that. Precious coral.
Got a primnoid next to it. I
Over
can only
here?
see. Sorry.
Oh, Lindsay was calling out another coral species.
Oh, Raj. And probably this rock also doesn't look terribly.
Yeah, it looks
What you
really
want.
highly altered. It's not going to give us a good signal of the formation conditions of the seamount.
Okay, we can look over to the right, and if not, would you want to just continue? And
Yeah, let's keep going to the right just a little bit, see if there's any breaks, show some nice angular rocks. And otherwise, yeah, we'll put in a ship's move to keep going southwest.
Roger that. If you're only watching on channel 2, you can swap to channel 1 occasionally to see some nice scale of the slope here. You're getting a view from Argus of Hercules rising.
I want to
off
say
the ridge.
Circeaster. Circeaster.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing some great candidates here for the dating aspect.
There you go. This one right here. Yep.
Could also
Or
leave that
Kyraster.
feature
That's
for
the
the
one.
next shift too
Started
when
with a
Andre
C.
is here and has a better eye for it. So let me think if there's anything else we want to try to pick up here. Just millions of rocks. It's hard to decide which one is interesting.
Only a couple bins.
Yeah, exactly.
Our bin to rock ratio is way off.
It's true.
Can we get a partial zoom in this area right here, please?
Yeah, sure thing. Jake, you want to give me a little bit of scope there? All right, Jeff, go ahead and push on in there a bit, please.
Yeah, those also still look really altered. Okay, we can back out. Yeah, I think, Rennie, if we can go ahead and put in another small ship's move,
All right.
keep working our way up this ridge, see what we find.
Sure. What was that last one, 240?
245.
Okay, let's go 240.
Reg.
Try 50 meters. Bridge, nav. One step, 50 meters, bearing 240. Thank you.
A lot of folks tuning in here in the last 5 minutes, so welcome. Thanks for joining us here on our dive on Tamana Seamount. We've been on the seafloor less than 30 minutes here, beginning our exploration of this area of Papahanaumokuokia. You can see we're right about 1,740 meters deep. That's where Hercules is at. And actually, you can catch a lot of those stats if you're on the Nautilus Live website. Click on more data and go to Grafana.
I think this one particular coral here, this is a primnoid, probably in the genus Narella. It's very reminiscent of Narella macrocalyx, one we've seen from these depths. On the left-hand side, there's another primnoid. That one possibly in the genus Narella, but there's some other options for these types of fan-shaped primnoids.
Are viewers seeing the telestrator? Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Do you want to get a partial zoom on this one?
Oh yeah,
to help with the species identification?
If we're
Go ahead
good
there,
on
Jeff.
time, sure. Any more push-in on that? Yeah, so there's a couple of things this could be. It could be Narella, but it could also be Calyptrophora, which is another
I think I saw a cup coral.
lyrate. But
A little pink thing?
No, just down, if you pan down just a tiny bit.
There.
Right here.
Oh, cup
Is that
coral.
one of those cup corals?
maybe. It's really tough to see. It looks
Yeah.
like an anemone,
Okay.
but
I was imagining I'm seeing carbonate at the bottom.
not seeing very well.
Yeah. Okay.
The fine details. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, so very interesting that the animal density here is quite a bit lower than what we were seeing at a similar water depth on the seamount we were diving on yesterday.
Yep.
As well as the previous dive on Don Quixote seamount. So Definitely something different going on here.
Yeah. When we first sat down, I thought it was going to be a great dive because there was some pretty strong current flow west-east. And that seems to have moderated a bit.
We saw some of those sponge right at the start and haven't really seen many since. There's
a
one
couple.
right there.
Yeah. But yeah, not super high density.
Again, it could be something to do with substrate, but it's most likely to do with
larval
flow
delivery.
conditions. Yeah, larval supply potentially.
What is that moving on the bottom there?
There's an Umbellula sea pen down there.
What were you looking at, Lindsay?
It just went out of frame.
It just
Something
went
was crawling.
out of frame below. It was a little tiny Umbellula sea pen.
Oh.
Okay.
They probably were living in the cracks and crevices where there's sediment, since they need a sediment to anchor their peduncle. That's my perfect example, though, and one of my favorite examples of how seamounts are these mosaic habitats where you can have these hard, dominant, rocky bottoms, but just a little bit of sediment, and you can have a totally different community that you wouldn't find on the rocky substrate.
Dr. Orcutt, I believe you used the term disturbed to describe the rocks. Could you say more about what you mean by that?
Oh, I don't know if I use that word, but if I did, where we were looking, I was trying to see if we could see evidence of rocks that were not very altered, and they looked like they were from in situ and not like broken off from somewhere far away and settled in that spot. So I may have used the word disturbed in that context. Yeah, so there's different objectives for collecting rocks on these dives. One is to try to get rocks that look like they are not really altered, so that they still retain some signal of the original formation conditions and ages in the mineral grains on the inside. We also want rocks that look like they have significant alteration and crust formation for a different objective for understanding alteration processes. So keeping my eye out for both.
It might just be my perception, but I'm noticing a lot more of this kind of talus material at this site compared to the others.
Yeah, and that's probably a reflection of how steep the topography is here. And if there's slope failures, you're going to have a lot of rocks breaking and tumbling down.
Right.
So even some of these bigger boulders may have just landed down here from somewhere higher up.
Sure.
Looks like we might have some corals coming up in Herc's view in a few moments. It's hard to tell if that's coral or sediment. So a feature like this that we're looking at, this looks more like an in situ material ropey flow, but it also looks like it's probably highly altered.
We've been using that word a lot. I wonder if we could include that in our team name, highly altered.
That sounds very cool. Could be a good band name as well.
Altered rock.
Highly altered.
Highly altered rock.
Highly altered savage cribbage.
Highly altered. What was it? Deep sea warriors, or what was it that we were saying last night?
Blue water warriors.
Blue water warriors.
Don't worry, team. By the end of this cruise, we'll have it.
Or we'll have 5 names.
And of course, there's highly altered.
Yeah, so this is what I was seeing before.
Sorry, I wasn't on SPL.
Umbellula sea pens. They take advantage of any soft sediment they can. Yep. Yeah, the little
this little guy
umbrella.
right there.
Yeah.
Oh, and this one.
Oh, yeah, both of them. Actually, there might be 2 different species of sea pens here.
Can we get a partial zoom on both of those, Jess and Jeff?
Yep.
There might be some, the very bottom of the screen at 6 o'clock, there looks to
Go ahead
be
and push on
Oh
in.
yeah.
maybe some, is that my eyes
Oh, the shiny
seeing
rock
some,
down there.
yeah, some shiny rock?
We can
Yeah.
take a look at that afterwards.
Oh.
Okay.
Looks like they got some black
Great.
stuff in there.
Good capture on the C-pen. Umbellula.
Hey, Emil down here in the lounge, it'd be nice to get a shot of the sand ripples too.
Sure
Okay.
thing, Rimmel. And come a little wide there, please.
It looks like there might be some newly settled Umbellula
I saw
too,
that
yeah.
one, yeah. Yeah, so either pan up or down. There's two things we want to look at.
Yeah, so shiny rock was one, right?
Yeah, shiny rock is just out of our screen on Herc.
Yeah, sure thing.
Right there.
Yeah. Kind of caught my eye. I wonder if it was some sort of maybe debris, or it could be rock, or just the way that the light's hitting it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
The C-pen up on top.
All right, go ahead there, Jeff.
This is the one we're trying to look at.
Yeah, super glassy.
Yeah, interesting. It's like it's been scoured.
All right.
We've gotten a couple samples like that on the cruise.
All
Yeah.
right. Full wide, please.
Great.
And we'll look at the
The other C-pen.
other C-pin real quick, and then I got a boogie.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
We'll
This will give us a nice shot of the ripples too. Two for
Exactly.
one.
I suspect this is one of the C-pens we saw last night, or, well, was it last night?
It was some
One of
previous
these
dive.
days, yeah.
All right, go ahead and partial that real
genus
quick.
Protoptylidae, or sorry, family
That's good there.
Protoptylidae.
And again, we're seeing some little recruits in the sediment as well.
Yep. Great, thank you. Good capture.
Okay.
Yeah, great. All right, let's boogie.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Those
Wall
ripples.
approach.
Yeah, you get some
Whoa.
screenshots of those ripples?
Yeah, I did.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Sure thing, Emil.
So the view in channel 2 from Argus ROV really shows the incredible topography here.
Walteria sponge.
Yeah, right, dead ahead. Is that our first sighting on this dive so far?
I think so, yeah.
It looks like a sea star coming by. Brill star.
Beth, do we know how long today's dive is planned to go for?
12 hours from launch, so we're a little more than 2 hours in, so another 8 hours on the seafloor. If we go with the planned schedule. Rennie, how much further does the ship move?
That ship move is complete. I was holding off there on calling in another, but
Yep, that sounds good.
we can, oh, I was, but if you want, I can keep going, but
No, yeah,
okay.
holding off sounds good.
holding's good.
Yeah,
Roger.
and are we having some USBL issues?
Oh, is that a
It's a sore subject at the moment.
Okay.
Just like it's
All right,
speaking
yeah,
of-
can
Oh,
we
look,
get a
there we go,
partial
yeah.
zoom on this, Jess, while
Oh,
we're
yeah.
coming by?
Yeah, let's have that distract from the
Yeah.
USBL situation.
Oh,
Okay, let me change up my gains.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Pelagic holothurian.
Yeah.
Go ahead and push on in there, please, Jeff.
This is Inipiastes.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, it's one of the swimming sea cucumbers, but I think it's a
Still a ground-based
they're still ground-based.
yeah.
In contrast to like the true pelagic holothurian, Pelagothuria, which doesn't use the substrate at all during its life cycle.
Wow.
These do need to feed on sediments on the seafloor. You can see in its gut. Probably some vestiges of sediment. It's lots of meal.
I'm glad people can't see my stomach. Oh, that's a great shot.
Thank you.
Falling off into the abyss.
Thank you. I don't think I've seen one of those on our expedition so far, but maybe they've been observed on other dives.
I think we saw one on the first or second dive when we were
I
off
saw one
watch.
early
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
There is a standing collection request from some scientists ashore at UH to collect one of those, but we'll have to, it has to be a good moment, of course.
Yeah.
Hilarious
Yeah.
sample.
That'd be a
attempt.
fun collection. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one that came up previously actually came up quite well in the suction, but it was much smaller than that. That one was quite beefy.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
porky, I guess.
Rotund. Looks like we might have a sponge here.
That might be sediment there.
Or it might be sediment, yeah. So it's deceiving.
Sorry.
So it looks like we're out a bit ahead of the ship. Is this a good spot to try to do some sampling if we see something good?
Yeah, we are in a good position.
Okay.
If you see something, let us know.
I will. Yeah, I'm scanning around here. See
Would-
what might be
Will
good.
this be a rock and an eDNA sample?
To be determined. Depends on the type of rock.
Roger that. We could do a drive-by. Jake can grab with the manip and start juggling underwater too at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is definitely an intact boulder right in front of us. I'm just trying to look and see if there's a piece that we could break off.
Do a partial in there, Jeff. That's great.
Jess, can we try to see if this piece right here will come off?
The big
Yeah,
lump?
the big chunk.
Yeah, we can try.
Yeah, I kind of want to see just how brittle this material is.
Yeah, sure thing. Jake, want to get the arm out?
Sure.
It's about a 25 centimeter piece.
Sure thing. We'll
If it-
try to avoid taking 50-pound rocks though on our watch ice.
Yeah.
Leave that to
Leave that
Leave
to
that to
Dan.
the other watches.
12 before.
Otherwise, we'll have 150 pounds.
Are you full wide there, Jeff? Thanks.
Yeah, speaking
Oh.
of that big rock last night, anyone got any hot and cold packs for my back there?
Gonna come down a little on the delta.
All right.
I can bump towards you if you need.
Yeah, so
Should be
for our
okay.
viewers watching, we're settling in. We're going to try to see if we can get a sample off of this large boulder,
Got Jake.
which has features that indicate that it's an in situ placement. I want to see how altered it is. If it's really altered, it'll be a
Roger.
good sample for microbiology. If it's comes off pretty angular and doesn't look super altered, and might be a good sample
So-
for
Is it the piece down here?
I think they want the piece kind of center screen.
this right there.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I want to try to maybe push down on it and see if it'll come off.
Okay.
Do you want to push on in there a little bit, Jeff? That should be good there. Yeah, that guy right there, Jake. Nice. Yeah, Beth, it looks like a pretty on there rock. Maybe try raking it upwards if you want. Nice. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty in there guy.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty secure.
Pretty, okay. Let me change focus for just a second and think if there's something else that might be better for the microbiology objectives.
Roger.
And I'll leave the dating rocks for Andrea. Jake, what about this piece? Sorry.
Oh,
right there. Let's see if we can pick that up. Can we get a
zoom?
Partial zoom on that, Jeff? It's got a nice botryoidal texture.
Yeah.
This one here.
Oh, that one, okay.
Nice. I'm curious if that one's even going to come up.
Yeah, is it sitting there or is it attached? Let's find out.
Yeah. This one might be attached too.
Yeah.
Let's give it one more try.
What's your grit force? Your grit force is 9, right?
I believe.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay.
That's a pretty in there puppy.
Yeah, okay. Let's, we can go ahead and pause this activity.
Okay.
Roger.
Let's, Rennie, if we go ahead and put in another ship's move, we'll keep moving up this face, seeing what animals come by. I'm going to hand over the instructing to Steve. I need to step out of the van for just a moment to talk to some of the other scientists. I'll be back shortly.
Sure thing.
Do you want the telestrator, Steve? I'm going to put it right here.
Got it. Go another, we'll go 100 at 240. That seems to be
240, Reg.
bridge nav. 100-meter step, bearing 240. Thank you. I'm so upset.
That one kind of looks like a pillow there on the right-hand side.
All right.
We just lifted off. We did notice what looked like a couple of broken pillows. So there is potentially some basalt-looking structures in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like this looks very pillowy there.
Mm-hmm.
That one kind of cracked open. But I don't think anything looks really breakable here.
Yeah, right. No, we're also seeing some like columnar features, but
Yep.
they are very well attached. Did we already call in that ship's move?
Yeah, we're moving.
Okay, great. So let's see what comes by. As we are ascending in depth, getting shallower, I'm also keeping my eye on Grafana data for the oxygen concentration to see how that is also going down as we are ascending and getting closer to that oxygen minimum zone. We're currently at a depth of about a little over 1,700 meters, slowly continuing to rise up this ridge feature on the north side of the Tamano Seamount.
Left-hand side, there's a black coral at 8 o'clock. Or no, sorry, on the rock there.
Right here?
Yeah,
Oops.
I thought it was a black coral. I might be mistaken.
C-pin with the peduncle, is that it?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Jess is winning bingo.
Yeah, it looks like
Anything with a cool suction disc.
yep. Yeah, so this is a genus that I don't think I've seen on this cruise so far, but doesn't mean other watches haven't.
Go ahead and push on in there,
This
Jeff.
is a type of rock pen. Obviously, the peduncle is attached to the rocky bottom here with kind of like a suction cup action. But this is in the
basalt, columnar basalt.
This is in the genus Anthoptylum.
Gonna
Maybe I'll
come
reset.
a little wide there. I'll bump up a bit.
I think peduncle is a great word.
It really is.
Right.
All right.
Good capture, thank you. And there is a known species of Anthoptylum that was described from the Eastern Pacific not too long ago called Anthoptylum lithophyllum. So aptly named.
It's a very fun name.
Yep. Rolls off the tongue.
Are there some silent P's and C's in there?
Yep, yeah.
Lithophyllum, as in it likes rocks.
Exactly.
Oh, we've got a sponge in the view coming up.
Was that another Chiraster?
The sponge?
The sea star.
Oh.
Go ahead and push on in there, Jeff. Teeny tiny brittle stars.
Very nice ferronematid sponge, probably in the genus Poliopogon with some of these associate brittle stars.
Some great botryoidal texture on these rocks. Alteration.
All right, go ahead and come wide, please. Big urchin there. 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still interesting that there's such a sparse abundance of sponge and coral life here compared to some of our previous dives at similar water depths. Is that
Something
another,
coming up.
what is that? I can't tell from this view.
I'm sure what that is. Shrimp?
Oh yeah, it's a
Just a coral here.
polychelid, I think.
I'm going to come a little
It's
wide
a
there,
type
please.
of blind lobster.
Sorry. I want to make sure I set up nicely here.
Blind lobster. Is that a bubblegum coral off to our left?
It's a precious coral.
Precious coral.
Yep. You guys don't need me anymore.
Did you call it a lined lobster? Go ahead
It's
and push
a
on.
type of blind lobster.
Lined lobster. Huh.
Almost looks see-through.
I've seen illustrations of this one at MCZ, actually.
Very cool. Thanks, Jess. And
Yep.
Jeff.
Get a closer shot if you want.
But I've never seen it before.
There was
And then
one
there's something
scene on a previous dive, I think dive 1886.
Mm.
Yeah, very nice. They do swim, so they will jump off the bottom. Actually, it looks like there's a small something just to the upper right of it too. These
Crinoid or
A
something?
French,
feathery.
yeah, maybe a
Oh, yeah.
crinoid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, full wide.
Great.
Looks like there's maybe a sponge or two
Hour and a half.
off to the right of Hercules and Argus's cam. But again, it might be sediment. Sometimes I'm tricked.
I think a lot of these are sediment pockets that
I think so.
are very
Yeah.
deceiving.
Show up really bright. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
sediment, not a sponge.
Nice little wall feature coming up.
Yeah.
How are we doing on our ship's move, Rennie?
Still moving along. It's about 60 meters along in the 100-meter move.
Okay.
Yeah. I can stop at any time if you're starting to like the look of things.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Different fish there to the right.
Yep.
It's two of them.
Yeah.
The one in the foreground looks like another synaphobranchid eel, and the one on the back looks like something going on with that fish. Maybe some damage to it or a parasite potentially on one side.
Oh.
That one looks like a cusk eel.
Do a quick partial there, and then I'm going to get ahead of that boulder. These fish seem to have a lot of scarring, especially on the dorsal areas. Had a rough life. All right, go ahead and come wide,
You
please.
should see the other fish.